This is Cross Seekers, an action RPG that's got a ton of Kingdom Hearts influence infused into its DNA, solo developed by a Japanese game developer that goes by the name of T-Sicken since 2018. Now, I've covered a ton of Kingdom Hearts inspired indie projects over the past few years. The ones in recent time that stick out to me the most with the greatest amount of soul behind them would of course be Luminous Nights and Dusk Fane. However, out of the bunch that I have experienced personally for myself, I absolutely have to tell you that Cross Seekers right here is the most Kingdom Hearts feeling game that isn't Kingdom Hearts from a gameplay point of view. Now, here's the thing. Since first playing Kingdom Hearts all of those years ago, back when I was still shitting myself, I've been desperately trying to find a game that is reminiscent of how Kingdom Hearts presents itself as an action RPG, with similar mechanics and a similar feeling to its real-time combat. And I suppose this is what makes Kingdom Hearts so unique, is that there really isn't any other game out there in the same genre that gets anywhere close to feeling like a Kingdom Hearts game. Now, it was actually Yahya, who is the solo developer of Luminous Nights, which by the way you guys should definitely check out, I'll leave that link in the description down below, who told me about this project, mentioning that there's another great Hearts-like project that's been in development for a while, you should totally check it out. I got in contact with T-Sicken to ask about this project, to get some information behind its features, systems, its inspiration, and a little bit of history on the project itself. On top of that, I was also provided a demo build of the game that was presented at Tokyo Game Dungeon 6, a game expo for Japanese indie game developers. There's a good chance you guys have never heard about this game, mainly because it's only within the Japanese sphere of the indie gaming world. So I'm doing my due diligence of bringing this to your attention, because this is absolutely a project that you need to know about. So by now, just from the footage that you guys have seen, you've probably noticed some reminiscent Kingdom Hearts things. Looking at the HP and MP gauges, we've got what looks like a command menu reading elements, a very similar looking Kingdom Hearts lock-on system with the orange auto lock-on and blue hard lock-on, even with scan displaying the enemy's HP bar up the top right. The combat system though is where most of the homework here has been done from Kingdom Hearts. This game has an ability system just like the mainline Kingdom Hearts game, where we can activate new abilities to add new attacks to our combos, new support abilities like Combo Plus to extend our combos, or new mobility abilities like being able to air dash. And like I was saying, this game's combat system feels so incredibly Kingdom Hearts, it's almost scary. Albeit perhaps maybe not as polished or refined as a Kingdom Hearts game, keeping in mind this is only one person developing this project, it's still incredibly impressive how close it gets. If you're far away from an enemy and you're locked on, you will perform what is basically a slide dash. We've got the ground and aerial combos, both of which perform differently. At any point during a combo while you're on the ground, you can press X, which basically performs upper slash to knock the enemy up into the air to then perform an aerial combo. Or if you press X while performing an aerial combo, you'll knock the enemy towards the ground, just like Ground Breaker from Kingdom Hearts 3. And you've probably noticed by now that some of the animations of these attacks look exactly like some of the combo modifier attacks from the Kingdom Hearts games, and that's because they are. They're not directly ripped or imported from those games, but rather recreated here in the Unity engine. For example, looking at air dash here, it looks exactly like Sora's air dash from Kingdom Hearts 3. Or the combo of the polearm weapon here. The last attack for its finisher is literally Zantetsuken. And oh, would you look at that? It seems like the dodge of this character is basically Terra's dodge. Yes, there's even a guard system here with reprisals, so guarding at the exact right moment will allow us to perform a counter attack, which makes you briefly invincible, allowing you to also punish the enemy with a stronger move. Now, I just mentioned polearm weapon combo, and you've probably noticed that there is a bunch of different weapon types in the game. There is over 10 to be exact, whether it be guns, claws, dual daggers, one-handed swords, two-handed swords, and all of the weapon types have different performing combos. They'll also perform differently depending on what what abilities you have equipped. And I look at this as an expansion on Kingdom Hearts' combat system, because you can equip up to 4 different weapons and switch between them in real time. I love the weapon switching. It's very reminiscent of Noctis in Final Fantasy 15 with his weapon switching. It's basically the same thing, but what's cooler here is you can switch between weapons while you're performing a combo and string together multiple weapon combos into one. I have a feeling that this system is likely inspired through Final Fantasy 15 along with Kingdom Hearts 3. 3 had Keyblade switching, where if we had multiple Keyblade transformation forms activated, we could actually combo in and out of multiple different Keyblade transformations. So it's basically the same idea here, though it is a little bit more fluid. But it doesn't just stop at weapon switching, we've also got party member switching. This is something that we've always envisioned for Kingdom Hearts, being able to switch between the playable party members, going from, let's say, Sora to Donald instantly while we're in combat to perform their attacks, and that's exactly what you can do here in Cross Seekers. There are over 15 playable characters in this game, and at any point during combat, you can instantly switch to another party member. This makes for even furthermore depth to the combat system, allowing you to basically perform a combo on one character, getting towards its finisher, as the AI will basically take over the party member that you've just switched out to continue performing a combo, and then starting again new with another character on another enemy or attacking the same target. So with both the weapon switching and party member switching on the fly all in real time, it adds such a cool new layer to what is an already existing combat system inspired through Kingdom Hearts, but adding some new flavor on top. Now, you're probably curious about what looks like a command menu system to the left saying elements. Yes, there is a magic system here in the game, and you can equip up to 4 different magics. Magic is activated on the D-pad in this game, meaning that when you press triangle, you'll activate that specific magic ability. However, there's a shortcut system, just like Kingdom Hearts, allowing you to activate any of the magics by holding down L1 and pressing any of the symbol buttons. The magics aren't just necessarily sending out a fireball or smiting an enemy with a lightning strike. These more so work as commands from something like Birth by Sleep, as we quite literally have a Thunder Surge here. These magic attacks will require a specific amount of magic bars, a little bit similar to Kingdom Hearts 1. And once a bar has been used, the MP gauge will automatically start replenishing. Spells can either be found in treasure chests throughout levels or purchased at the shop in town. And already just here in the demo, which the demo in itself is quite short, there are a ton of different magic attacks. It's explained to me by T-Second that there's over 30 types of magic, and even some of the magic attacks can be strung into combos, instantly perform into a combo once it's been used. Birth by Sleep should certainly take notes. Now, there is a form system here in the game, though it's closer to command styles from Birth by Sleep than it is drive forms. As you're dealing damage to enemies, this gauge will fill up, and once it reaches max, you can press triangle and circle to activate a unique form, which is different depending on what character you're playing as. It's basically a burst mode for all of the characters, increasing movement speed, damage, and the way you perform combos. Now, looking at the progression system of the game, whenever you defeat an enemy, it will tell you how much XP you've just gained and how much you need to get to the next level, just like a Kingdom Hearts game. And you'll also gain SP, which is separate to that of XP. SP is used on the ability board, and this is how you unlock new abilities like combo modifiers or support-based passives. Sort of think Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance. Weapons can also be leveled up to increase their stats via their own experience points, which are gained via treasure chests or just by simply using weapons. And weapons and accessories do sometimes have abilities attached to them, just like we see in Kingdom Hearts games. You can find new weapons and accessories via the shops in town or out in treasure chests in the world. There is a lot of progression here, and especially considering that there are so many playable characters, there's a numerous amount of ways of being able to customize your party to your exact liking. The combat system here and everything to do with it, its mechanics, its systems, is awesome. This is a person that has clearly done their homework on Kingdom Hearts, but then adding additional new things on top of it to expand upon Kingdom Hearts' combat system. I simply love it. There's even some stuff here that I would love to see in a Kingdom Hearts game. The enemy designs as well are all very unique. I guess a little bit of inspiration behind the numerous amount of Heartless that we see throughout the Kingdom Hearts series. It's sort of similar here. They're all very different looking and have all kinds kinds of unique different attacks. It's been explained to me that there are currently right now, where the game is in development, over 100 different types of enemies. And speaking of enemies, I got to experience a boss fight in the demo, and yeah, again, Kingdom Hearts notes like the camera angle at the beginning of the fight, zooming up on the boss and then back to the main character and then back over to the boss. It's like all the exact same. The boss has revenge value on top of a DM attack, and then when you finally defeat the boss, it goes into the whole slow motion thing. It's like, oh my god. If you were to put Kingdom Hearts models like Heartless and the Kingdom Hearts characters and Keyblades into this, it would so totally be a Kingdom Hearts game. And I'm pretty sure this boss fight is basically just young Xehanort. Now, you've probably taken a look at the visuals of this game and thought to yourself, yeah, interesting. It's got a very specific kind of look to it. Like, it looks like an old school title, and I believe this is the aesthetic of the game that T-Second is kind of going for. This game is so reminiscent of a PlayStation 2 era RPG, and I kind of love it for that. It's got a lot of charm. It's by no means the most visually impressive game out there, but the PlayStation 2 era vibe to it is kind of amazing. It's being developed on Unity engine, and that's not to say that Unity can't pump out some good looking games, but I think it's intentional, the visual style of this. And I've always said that so long as a game has a top-notch gameplay first, a decent story second, visuals and graphics should always be the smallest priority. Now, looking at the narrative of the game, it's going to revolve around 4 different stories unfolding as the scattered protagonists come together. Eventually, all of these stories will converge into one, so this probably explains why there are so many different party members. And when the project started back in 2018, the idea was to make a pretty simple story, but over the course of time, the idea to make a simple story has sort of changed, and a lot of thought has gone into the narrative. And you can definitely tell that a lot of thought has gone into the game's story, because there's already a trailer showing off a ton of different cutscenes with all kinds of things going on, with numerous different areas and environments. It really does seem as if the small amount of the game that I got to experience really was a very small slither of the game overall. It looks like a lot of progress has already been made within the 6 years that the game's been developed for. Second has told me, though, that to ensure the story's conclusion and to further improve the quality, they do intend to continue putting more time into developing it. So I don't think this is a game that has a specific kind of release date in mind just as of right now. Now, here's the big thing, and what I need you guys to do, especially if you are interested in playing this for yourself when it eventually releases, because if you are a Kingdom Hearts fan, you'll absolutely want to get your hands on this. Right now, the game is only being developed in Japanese. There is currently not an English version, so for me, actually navigating menus and figuring things out was a little bit difficult because I couldn't read anything. I was basically Google translating stuff as I was going, and also getting a grip on the small amount of story that was in the demo. Yeah, I basically had no idea what was happening. I asked T-Second if an English version is going to happen, and right now it is under consideration. So how you guys can help towards this is wishlisting the game over on Steam. There is currently a Steam page for cross-seekers, and receiving an English version is only going to happen if there's enough want behind it. If we collectively wishlist this game, this will tell T-Second, hey, there's demand for this game to be English localized, because I'm telling you right now, from at least the gameplay perspective here, this is the most Kingdom Hearts feeling game that isn't Kingdom Hearts. The last thing that I was told is that the game will also support local multiplayer up to 4 players. Makes a lot of sense considering the vast amounts of playable characters. So that right there is Cross-Seekers. If you guys want to keep up with everything that's going on with this project, all of the links are in the description down below. Be sure to visit that Steam page. A big thank you to T-Second for allowing me to play the game for myself. I had an absolute blast. It's simply incredible that we're starting to see indie game projects taking inspiration from the Kingdom Hearts games. A lot of these indie developers grew up playing Kingdom Hearts, and to see some of that love and some of the ideas that Kingdom Hearts presents put into new game projects is nothing short of incredible. Thank you guys so much for tuning into today's video. Be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. A big thank you to my wonderful patrons. I appreciate the support. I hope you're all having a fantastic day, and we'll talk again real soon.